a reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah, I don't like niggas. What's wrong with me? I'm alright, nigga. But this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They'll also match your first deposit up to $100, and you'll get a special pick when you sign up. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Mase and Cam.
Murder, what up, man?
Killa was good, man.
Ain't sure you got your Lennox Ave hat on, huh?
Yeah. Had to bring it back home. You know, somebody got to represent.
All right. I ain't mad at it. I like that.
Yeah,
Just make sure it stands for Lennox. Just make sure it stands for Lennox Ave if the Dodgers win the World Series. Because if the Dodgers win the World Series, it may not stand for Lennox Ave no more. It may stand for something different.
Hey, Cam, there's people want me to ask you. There was a picture for
I didn't even hear what you said. I just heard when you said people want me to ask. Gang, you've been waiting on this for two. I've been waiting for this. What do people want you to ask me?
Nah, it ain't about that. It ain't even about that. See, you're so defensive. I can't say anything, Stat.
Bro.
You see this, Stat?
No, what I'm saying is, Ever since I've been waiting because you obviously didn't like when you said Jeff Van Gundy holding legs, and I've been waiting for you to get revenge so we can move on with our life.
Yeah, I've moved on from it.
Okay.
For real. I'm just asking you something that people really, really want to know.
Oh,
you know
what's that? What's that?
It doesn't have anything to do with the Jeff Van Gundy thing, Cam. I'm your brother, you know. Right. Do you feel like I'm your brother?
Absolutely.
That's what I need to
absolutely. You're taking a long time. You're taking a long time to say what people want to know. I'm waiting. What do they want to know?
Yeah, there was a concert. There was a pop-out concert, and there's people posting pictures like you were in the crowd at the pop-up. And I didn't know if that was you because I didn't speak to you over the weekend. So I said, did Killa go to the pop-up?
With Kendrick Lamar?
With Kendrick Lamar.
We had a show since then. That was last Wednesday. That was in the middle of the week, Murder. Yeah, Murder. Come on now, Murder.
I know, but you, Killa, you fly in and out. We both fly in and out. I don't know. People want to know. There's people trying to put you in the crowd, you know?
I wasn't there, no. The concert looked lit. Matter of fact, we came into work, Stat asked me if I didn't even know nothing about it, to be honest, and then the next day I watched it. It was lit. I wasn't there, but it looked like a really good concert. I wasn't there.
Yeah, all right. That's what I thought that was why you said the Lennox Ave thing. You know?
No. Last time I said, see, you don't even be remembering. The Knicks won.
I do remember.
The Knicks won.
I just wanted to know, Cam. It's a simple question. You seem really nervous about it. I'm just asking you. If you wasn't there, if you said you wasn't there, you wasn't there. That's it.
I wasn't there.
You was not there. Right?
No, I wasn't there. I would have liked to went to that though. It was lit. It looked really nice. It looked really good. You know one thing what I'll say about this shit though is that yo, it is so easy. And I'm not saying easy because like Kendrick Lamar is like one super great artist of this generation, and for the last 15 years or so, we've been rapping for 25, almost 30 joints. So this last 12 to 15 years, he's really been killing. But it's one thing, and I don't know if the West Coast noticed. The East Coast don't be on it like the West Coast. The West Coast, yo, niggas say something niggas playing with the West Coast. Yo, the East Coast, we got like 3 states, yo. It's like 3 states. It's Connecticut. Well, you know, we ain't Maine and all that, but we're going to say Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania. And then when it get to like Maryland and D.C., it gets shaky because they got the go-go music. And then when you get the VA, it's just, then when you get the VA, it's just total, they go south. They south. So then when you got VA, south, North Carolina, south, South Carolina, south, Georgia, Florida, all these, Alabama, all these states that's really still in the Eastern time zone, they don't claim no East Coast shit. They don't. Even Ohio, they say they in the Midwest. This is a 5.5 hour drive from New York. So when niggas be like, niggas better not play at that West Coast, you got Washington State, Portland, Nevada, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Wyoming. It's like, them niggas stick together with that shit, B. For years, though, it ain't even nothing new. This has been going on since beginning of time. We don't have that luxury, man. We can't be like, yeah, where the East Coast at? Niggas is not sticking together. They're not. They're not, my nigga. Word. So, but it was a really dope concert. I thought that shit was hot.
That's really good. They wanted me to ask you that, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, the answer is no. We was actually at work, man.
Facts.
We was here.
Okay. So let's get into this women's game. So Angel Reese got her revenge over Caitlin Clark as the Chicago Sky beat the Fever 88-87. When talking about her performance, Angel said, "I'm a dog. You can't teach that." So thoughts on their personalities and then just the Chicago Sky's win as a whole over the Fever. Mase first.
I don't know if this is get back. It's really just a game. What makes this get back? I don't see this as get back, but I'm definitely not gonna cape for Caitlin Clark. I just don't see this as get back just yet. How do you see this as get back?
Because the Fever did.
I would have to ask that question.
The Fever did beat the Sky at one point earlier in the season.
Oh, I think they're making too much out of this rivalry. I don't think it's a rivalry yet until they start winning championships. When you look back and see like Bird and Magic, these are guys that they ran into each other in the championship in college, and then they also ran into the championship at the NBA level. I think right now is kind of the WNBA trying to create this narrative to even make the brand bigger. And I'm for that. If that's what you need us to do, we're bringing it up on our show here at It Is What It Is. You know, special shout out to Killa and Nick and yourself, Stat, and everybody that we're keeping this story alive. But realistically, until they play in the championship, I think that's when it comes a real rivalry. Or if they play in the playoffs, I'm not sure which side they're on. I don't watch it that much. But I don't look at it as a rivalry just yet. Unless she start playing with her money or something like that. You need something else to happen to make this a real rivalry. Like rivalries come when year after year, you and a person keep making, you know, like making certain feats together and going to higher levels together. So them making it to the league, you could say that's a rivalry. But now to make it for real, they got to both be in the playoffs. They got to both be like, you know, somebody gets snubbed for the All-Star game or something like that. I'm just trying to give you as much information as I can to let you know that I don't see this as a rival yet. And it's not really get back. It's just one game. The girl's still making way more money than her.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mase. Like, yo, the reason why this is going to go on and people going to talk about it because it's been going on since college, you know, and to Mase's point, if a lot of times, you know, I sit there and think about shit. And when we be like, yo, we talk about Bird and Magic, right? And you be like, in 1979, they played against each other in the college NCAA finals, Bird and Magic. And it's 2024. So I'll be thinking, like, if it was 1990 and somebody told me, like, yo, in 1932, so-and-so was playing against so-and-so. You be like, 1932, nigga. Come on, man. I ain't jacking 1932, Joe. Bob Cousy against Jerry West and all that. in junior high school. So sometimes when I be saying shit, it be like, damn, because I remember certain shit or I seen video of certain shit, I ain't gonna say act like I remember them playing in a championship live. I seen the game because of highlights and YouTube and clips and etc. But sometimes it just be sounding wild, old murder. Well, when Bird and Magic played against each other in 1979, and niggas is like, yo, come on, my nigga. Come on. We got to keep going back to 72 and all that, man. But I agree with you. I'm totally agreeing with you because I remember it. And it seems like how they're trying to market it. And look, throughout college, it was great. I think that as time goes on and they get older and other players get older, that eventually it may be a rivalry down the line. Right now, Caitlin Clark's team is 4 games under 500. Angel Reese's team is 3 games under 500. Angel Reese's team currently is an AC in the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, Caitlin Clark wouldn't be in the playoffs. So because of what they've done in college, the magnitude that they had watching Caitlin Clark, and then the year before last, Angel Reese beating her and doing the Tony Ayo, John Cena, Flavor Flav, whoever you want to give credit for that dance to, it was a big deal. And now that they're in the WNBA, they're trying to translate that. But we have to realize that we're doing the Magic Bird thing. Magic won the championship the very next year. A lot of people don't even realize Magic won a championship in high school in 1978, a college championship in 1979, and an NBA championship in 1980. So in a 3-year span, he was a champion on 3 different levels. And this is just not that. And as time goes along, I think these ladies will be leading the league, but I think that these other ladies is going to have a lot to say about that. We talked about before the season started, the WNBA season I'm referring to, and Diana Taurasi said, what do these ladies expect in a couple of months when the WNBA season starts? And she said, reality. And Diana Taurasi is 42 years old.
She wasn't lying.
Right, and she's 42 years old, and she's about to go to the Olympics, still averaging close to 17 points a game. So when I say as people get older, these players may be getting better. I'm talking about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, people in their same class. These ladies are finding ways, almost LeBron James, is to stay conditioned, stay fit, stay active, stay healthy, to where they'll be playing longevity. Now, don't get me fucked up. Everybody ain't Diana Taurasi and ain't going to make it to 42. But we're seeing that with a lot of players, not just females, male too. We're sitting there watching Steph Curry at 35 years old. Kevin Durant at 35, going to be 36 years old. And a lot of players are playing into their late 30s as to where we were younger. Players' careers was over at 33, 34 years old because of technology, exercise, nutrition, medicine, and so on and so forth. We're getting longer careers from these players. And Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they'll have their day, but I'm not sure when that day will be. As far as the game is concerned, I'm on the same side as Mase is concerned. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Whatever. Nobody's over 500.
If you look at it, yeah, they both just fighting for the last playoff spot. So if you want to take that and call that a rivalry, then they're being rivals for the last playoff spot. That would be interesting. But I think they got to both make the playoffs to make it really interesting, because then they'll meet in the playoffs. They both in the East Coast, and then they could finally square business. Who's the best in the NBA? But I don't think you solidify that in the regular season like anything else. Yeah, stars are made in the playoffs.
Right, and they do 18 playoffs, and the playoff spots 6, 7, and 8. The 6th seed is 500. The 7th and 8th seed is under 500. So niggas making the playoffs with under 500. I mean, they still got plenty of time left in the season, but do the 8th seed really need to make it if they're under 500?
Yeah.
I just want to add, I actually disagree. I feel like it is a rivalry because of the journey that they've had from the collegiate level to the pros. Because if we're looking at it in like a bigger scope, right? obviously, congratulations to all the rookies, but there was like a couple few that people were really tapped into, which made them kind of transition into looking at to girls in the WNBA. And that was Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, and Camilla. Cameron's now out because she tore her ACL. Camilla was injured for most part of the season, so it took her a while to get back. So the two rookies that I feel like people have had more of their eyes on have been Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And being that Angel Reese is a rookie and just got drafted and outscored her whole team in this game, I do understand, okay, you know, they have lower standings. It's like, what is the real rivalry? But I feel like it really just comes down to her and Caitlin, because we've been seeing this kind of on repeat from back then, even when LSU won the championship in 2022, to Caitlin, you know, and Iowa surpassing LSU to try to get to that finals, which obviously they didn't win, to now. So I feel like that's kind of what makes that rivalry. And even as far as viewership, a lot of people are tuning in, watching that game for the two of them. So even though it's not where we want it to be yet, because they don't have the highest standings, I think that this is something to build on that is interesting for people to kind of tap into. But that's my thoughts.
Stat, you know hating is not rivalry, right? Just because somebody hate on you don't mean y'all a rivalry.
Yeah, I don't think it's even centered around hate. I think it's two people's favorite rookies, and it's like, this is what we want to see. Like, we want to see that aggression that Angel Reese has been able to pick up, you know, early on in her season. So I'm not saying it's a hate off, but I think that this is something that people want to see.
No, I agree. I agree with you, Stat, when it comes to that. And you're right. This been going on. It's like a lot of people don't know. If you're not from overseas, talking about Giannis, Luka, I'm not even going to include Jamal Murray and SGA because they play in AAU. A lot of Canadian teams play against American teams. You've been playing against the same people since you've been 11, 12, 13 years old. They know when you're going to go pro at 12 and 13. So you go to AAU camp, you go to Nike camp, you go to these summer leagues, you play against each other's school. And they've been playing against each other for a long time. And we've seen it. And I'm not sure talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but I'm just saying for the public, I totally agree with you. To me, it caught wind to my attention that year that LSU won because Caitlin Clark ended up beating South Carolina, which nobody thought they would do. And she was I'm talking about Caitlin Clark was very disrespectful towards South Carolina's players, not nothing outside of basketball. I'm talking about waving the girl off, telling her to shooting jump shots, doing all this in their face. And then when she played Angel Reese in the championship, Angel Reese kind of took personal what she did to South Carolina and did all this shit back to her and so forth. And Angel Reese has a great image. She wears the one-leg shit. She got her eyelashes done, baby hairs. You know, people say she cute, she a cutie pie, etc. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I ain't put her under code cam and pay her fines because she got a boyfriend. So I'm not going to do that to Angel Reese and put her under my code cam shit because I don't know if y'all heard on other shows, I have a list of female WNBA players that I think are cute, that I like, and if they end up getting caught out there for something they have to pay a fine for, I'm paying the fine. And if you want to go to Underdog Fantasy and use code CAM at any particular time throughout this show or any other show, you're more than welcome to do. But I'm paying a couple females fines in the WNBA that I think that I like. I like that. And like I said, man.
Cam, stop. Boyfriend name is Cam.
I said I'm not paying her fine because she has a boyfriend. I said
They did break up though. She made that.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. I would say.
Paying it? They broke up. Are you paying?
I got to do more due diligence before I do that because sometime you may break up with somebody, and one person is broke up and the other person isn't because they don't consider it breaking up. I'm somebody that I had to get an order of protection on one time. She called me and said, "You think this piece of paper could keep me 100 feet away from you? What this gonna do?" And I said, all you could do is hold the paper up. Back up. Just you see what this says. It's not a force field. It's not a gun. It's not a knife. You're trying to literally show them a piece of paper, as they get closer within to the 100 feet. So sometimes people think they're broken up and they're not. So I'm not paying Angel Reese's fines. But it's a host of other females. I will. Just hit me in DM. I got you. But she has a great...
Do you care to reiterate their names?
Yeah, I told you I was going to come in with a list. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I was supposed to come in last week with it. But people were tagging me, and I stumbled upon some beautiful women that I didn't know were doing what they were doing. You know, some models. You know who I miss, Murder? I don't know if you know. T. Cooper. I don't know where T. Cooper at. T. Cooper, man. God damn.
T. Cooper. She's from Atlanta. With Petrie and all that.
I bet you wouldn't know, wouldn't you, man?
She's family.
Okay.
She's family.
I ain't say nothing. You know everything that's going on in the A. That's all I'm saying. Nothing disrespectful. I'm just saying. You know every little thing in that A. You know what school Dwight Howard went to, Anthony. You know what's going on down there. So I wasn't being disrespectful. But yeah, I'm gonna come with the list, Murder, and I'm gonna read it off tomorrow. And if anybody else I see, I'll add to it that I got their fines this year. But back to the original topic, seriously, and I was serious about that, ladies, as well. I want you to think
about the rivalry. That's based upon people striving for excellence. That's why I was calling it not a rivalry stat, based upon what the definition means. It's two people striving for excellence. Playing at the bottom of the division is not striving for excellence. And normally when people say a rival, it's two people striving for the same excellence in which only one can garner that spot. And it's almost like if you're in the playoffs and you constantly meet for the conference championship. So this is not a rival yet, but based upon definition, but rock on, you know.
No, what I was going to say is that I kind of get where Stat was going. I agree with your definition, Mase, but I understand what they're saying. Winner or losers, they're rivals. They don't fuck with each other. Is it to our standard? No. In college it was. in college it was our standard. But the reason why we're bringing them up is because Caitlin Clark is bringing more eyes to the WNBA. And what I believe is going on is that Angel Reese, for the last month or so, has been marketing herself saying, don't just say Caitlin Clark. I played the bad guy in that whole NCAA tournament, women's tournament, so that Caitlin could be the good guy. So it wasn't just Caitlin, because if it wasn't no bad guy, it wouldn't be no good guy. And Angel Reese wants people to start acknowledging that y'all wouldn't be this hype for Caitlin Clark if I didn't play the bad guy. And I was cool with playing the bad guy because it was making women's sports get more acknowledged and bigger, but now she wants her credit. Like, yo, stop acting like I ain't played this position for Caitlin Clark to be the female that y'all wanted her to be. And I don't have no problem being a bad guy. I heard her actually say that part, but don't ignore that I took on that role so we can be bigger for basketball. As far as my last thing wrapping this up is...
That was a good point.
Right. And the last thing I'll say wrapping this up is to Stats' credit, she's right. You know, people do want to see this. People are going to watch, see what's happening. But to Mase's credit, okay, we got eyes on the WNBA. We know Caitlin Clark is here. She's not living up to the expectations of what we thought, but she's still doing decent. Angel Reese is doing really decent. But if we're going to have eyes on the WNBA, and I know we have to focus on their games because they brought a lot of eyes with them from college, but we have to start giving a lot of recognition to the teams that's at the top of the standings as well. And we're just going to ignore what the Liberty's been doing all year at the Suns. Vegas isn't playing that good, but they're still better than Chicago and Indiana. Yeah. And because we're showing women, we're giving these women this much credit, let's start marketing other women now that we have eyes on the game, WNBA leaders, because I know who y'all guys are riding the wave off, but now that the wave has been ridden, let's start marketing some of these other stars in the WNBA.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll add, just for the rivalry definition, and I completely understand where you're coming from, but even just like example, right, in college football, Miami was cheeks when I was in school. We were not playing good in football, but FSU is forever going to be our rival. And even though we knew we were going to lose, We still all took the road up to Tallahassee. We were there in the stands cheering, you Seminoles, because we don't fuck with the Seminoles. But at the end of the day, we were there to support our team, even though we were bad. So I get what you're saying, but I still feel like that energy, the theatrics, that's what people want to see. And I think that's why people are in the seats to see the two of them go head to head.
That's a good point. There's rivalries every year in college. I dig that.
That's really good.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. So let's move on to Sunsetter Drew Eubanks. He is declining his $2.6 million player option and entering free agency. How much do you guys think this will affect the Suns? Mase first.
I mean, if you look at what he was averaging, 5.1 points. Dude, we talking about 5.1 points, and then we're talking about 4.3 per game in just rebounds. I don't even know why this is a topic. I mean, the Suns are trying to do what exactly? They had one bad center. Now they're gonna get a younger guy. I don't think he's gonna play much better than what this guy has done, and for him to turn it down, maybe he gets more money somewhere else, but I don't think at this point he has proven himself to be able to get the kind of money that he wants. I'm looking at stats right now, and they're all not that good. You know what I'm saying? If I was looking at the people that played the same way that he played, they got Nasir Little compared to him, and Nasir Little has been very worse on the court when you talk about plus minutes and things of that nature. It's like I'm looking at the stats of people that is around where he's playing, and it doesn't make sense for him to even be thinking he's going to get way more money. But I guess with the commercials and everything else that people are doing, it seems like if you got the right agent, you can get $5 more million. So he should go for it. But I'm talking about based upon stats, it doesn't make sense. But if you can get $7 more million and all you're getting is a triple single or a double single, you got to go for it these days. This, I don't know what else to say. He's not gonna make he's not gonna make a difference on Phoenix, whether he leave or stay. So if he could get $7 more million, which I'm sure he can if he got the right agent, because you can't buy height, he got to go and get that money.
I don't give a fuck, bro. This is stupid. This nigga ain't Paul George turning down $49 million player option. I had 2.6 in my book bag right now, nigga. Fuck is this? What are we talking about? I'm running around with 2.6 in my pocket, man. Like, I don't even know this nigga. Like, I don't know this nigga. Yeah, murder what you said. When murder say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that right there. Yeah, that's it.
Whatever that is.
Whatever he said, that murder called it.
Said,
you know what? I can't even say nothing better. You nailed it.
I remember I called Killa. I said, yo, I'm about to get this necklace that's like $2 million. Killa said, are you having a midlife crisis? Man, niggas buy a necklace.
I sure did. I told nigga, I said, man, what you mean you buying a $2 million necklace? Fuck you going through, man? I said, yo, man, I went through that shit 2 years ago. I bought a Can-Am. I bought a motorcycle, the 3-wheel joint, rode it one summer and said, well, I can't be a biker at 44. I can't turn bike life at 45 and all that. Whatever, you know. Now I said, man, I had a good time that summer. I said, that's over. And you can't start bike life at 45, my nigga. Wind in your face, blowing, you trying to wear goggles, it start raining, you gotta look at the weather ahead of time. Now you sitting under a bridge because you didn't look at the weather, so you gotta sit there for nah, man. I said murder, man. We gotta cut some of this shit out.
You gotta let somebody have
yeah, man.
Yeah, so we We're gonna have to let somebody else have this topic of
Yeah.
Eubanks.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, and listen, I dig it. Don't give me the I don't dig it face. What's better though? What I would like to talk about real quick, and I know this wasn't on our list today, but have you seen what was going on with Terrence Shannon?
Nah, what's going on?
So I don't know if you know about the story of Terrence Shannon. He was accused. He's an All-American player, Illinois. He's accused of rape. Had to go to trial. End up winning the trial because they had the girl's text messages with her friends, and the text messages. I'm gonna actually send you something real quick, Murder. While we on the phone, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. While, yeah, Murder. So I just actually sent you something, and
yeah,
he's an all-American basketball player out of Illinois. Got accused of this rape. So now every stadium he goes to play, because it's still allegations, the whole crowd is screaming, "No means no. No means no." Hurt his stock draft, took him off the All-American team, and he's just been acquitted for all of this at trial because they got the girl's text messages of her actually setting this nigga up. So I'm gonna read the text messages, some of them that came out in court.
Wow.
It says, her friend says, "I see the ESPN article link is shared. OMG." The other best friend said, "You got him." The alleged victim says, "Yep, yes, sir." Then the other friend says, "Got his ass," with the money signs coming out. And all this was shown in court, so I'm not just making anything up. And
yeah,
now that he's acquitted, he's still going to get drafted. He's still going to go to the NBA. But I would like to know, it is no...
I know what you're about to ask.
No, what I'm asking is, how should this be handled? Because this may not necessarily be a sports question that I'm asking. This is like, how does this work? You're fucking with this nigga's future, knowing it was a setup from day one. Now his money and livelihood is being affected. Now that people know it's swept under the rug, but he may have been ignored and not invited to some workouts, not invited to some teams to be talked about, not invited to a Laker Day or Phoenix Suns Day or whatever, pro day each team had because of this situation. And it's one thing beating a case because of not the right evidence, lack of DNA proof, whatever. This is outright text messages, laughing at a setup, and now he's being affected. How you think she should be handled, Mase, and how do you think the team should treat him moving forward? Because all this is, basically been some bullshit.
I think it's time let me just start by saying, for so long, there has been numerous women who have been victim shamed, and there has been countless women, that just haven't been protected in times of being assaulted or somebody doing something horrific to them. And I think that, as black men, we must begin to show women that they could be protected and all of those things. And with that being stated, for the ones that are not telling the truth, I think it's time to introduce a law for this. They got to make a law for this, because it's nothing that keeps women that are wrongfully accusing guys from doing this, especially when they want money or they want to tear down a certain guy. There has to be equal, and not just any crime, just not any punishment or any fine. I think it's time to implement something that have equal punishment to it. That's unilaterally the same punishment. So you think about where you have a guy, if he does this, like you said, he was going to lose stock, he was going to lose his draft day, he was going to lose money, and he was going to go to jail. Don't forget that. He was going to go to jail. I think it's time
And not
for them
to not to cut you off, Mase, to add on to what you're saying, because I want you to finish what you're saying. Not only go to jail, but when you get out of jail, you have to register as a sex offender. Don't forget that part.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think right now that it's time to consider that, because, and I'm not saying somebody who says something about a guy and there's discrepancy there. I'm saying when you can literally prove that a person has lied or premeditated the demise of any person, they should be charged, because you're messing up a person's life, and they should have to register like anybody else, because this type of person will mess people's lives up and make money off it. And I think for the longest time this has happened. Even I was reading some one day where a lady said all of this stuff by Emmett Till, but on her deathbed she said he didn't do any of it. And this man literally lost his life. This is public knowledge. He literally lost his life for something a woman just felt like, I'm gonna cover myself on this. And I think the same way that we want women to be protected, I think it's time to protect men as well when it comes to people just onslaughting their name, their likeness, and all of that. Because if not, just everybody's in trouble that have any type of celebrity that choose to be a guy that just date around until he find the right woman.
You have anything to say about it, Zach?
I just think that women who falsely accuse men of something that they know the man didn't do, they need to face some sort of repercussions. I'm sure they're going to probably try to make some sort of law for that, because it's not cool. You're messing with somebody's life, something that they've been doing all of their life. They're finally on that center stage, and because you want to be petty, you feel some type of way, you're going to send somebody to jail. Like, it's sick. Stuff like that needs to stop. Back to the Emmett Till situation. I remember that case. That's a whole other thing that's just like, these are things that can't keep happening. And I think it's interesting that there hasn't been any sort of fix towards it yet, because we've seen this happen in history multiple times. And not only does it affect the person who has a career ahead of himself, but for victims who actually do go through something, then it's like you question their integrity and what's real and what's not, because we've had too many things happen in between. So like, it's a lose-lose for victims. And then he is now a victim, because now he has to try to somehow assimilate back into, training, like being able to talk with teams, stuff like that, that people have had plenty of time to do. So it's not fair. Hopefully he's able to fix something to get him back in that space that he needs to be, because he's lost time, and time is money. You can't get that back. So they got to do something with her and give him the opportunity to be able to shine again for himself.
And when it comes to like being a celebrity or a star and things of that nature, I think sometimes people forget that sometimes you have so much going on, you really don't have the time to be in that scenario. A lot of times people just don't say nothing because that was once a way to handle these type of things. I think in the 90s and stuff like that, if you took media training and somebody said something wrong, most people were taught to just let it go away because it's not true. If it's not true, there's no real validity to it. It should go away. And sometimes that could backfire. So something definitely has to be done about it. I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm agreeing with you guys as far as the penalty is concerned. But sometimes I'm saying I don't know if it should be the same penalty, because every situation isn't like this situation. And what I mean is sometimes a female will gain a conscience and be like, okay, I was mad at the nigga. I did this because I was mad. This came out through a trial and text messages, and the DA should have never took this shit to trial anyway. It was no DNA. It was just, when the DA read the discovery, I don't even know why he went to trial after seeing all this evidence that was on Shannon's favor. But what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that I'm not sure it should be the same penalty, murder, is because when you got females who gain a conscience and be like, I ain't gonna do this to the nigga. I ain't gonna front. I was mad at the nigga. He cheated. So I tried to fuck his shit up. Kind of like how we seen the girl go above and beyond the porno joint with Zion. It became stalkerish, how it just went crazy. It wasn't no rape shit, but I'm talking about how far and crazy and delusional that females get to where one day they may be like, let me talk myself off the ledge and tell the truth. Not saying that happened in Zion's case. I'm just saying in general. And he'd be like, so if you implicate a penalty of the same penalty that the guy would get, let's say 7 years in jail, and she's false accusation, she gets 7 years, she may not talk herself off the ledge because she may be like, nah, I know I want to say something, but I ain't doing 7. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
no, and that could be the rule. If you talk yourself off the ledge, you get no charge, but you got to make this right. The same way they do when you get, and I'm not for like giving her 7, but I'm saying whatever the number is, if she comes to her senses, then it's no charge. But if she let it stay out there until we have to prove it's wrong, then there got to be some penalty to that, because the other person is taking a penalty, their family is taking that penalty, and their career is going to receive the brunt of that decision, even though she didn't mean it. Or
I wasn't finished, but I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. What's the medium to it? Because I agree with you. If it go to trial and you beat it with clear-cut evidence, it should be a penalty. But if you get a clear conscience 3-4 months into it, I think it should still be a penalty, because you going to these schools and they sitting there saying no means no, no means no. You still got to deal with that, knowing you ain't do nothing. Now you down 1, 4 seconds on the clock, and you at the foul line with 2, and niggas screaming no means no. Come on, man.
So in your words, you would have to get paid for your pain and suffering. That's
but she may not have it. What I'm saying is 6 months, 90 days. I'm not saying do the whole 7, but you know what I had to do the last fucking 4 months, 5 months to deal with this shit? You know what it's like to go into Starbucks and say we don't sell lattes to sex offenders. You know what that's like? You know, it's like going into McDonald's talking about, no, we don't take a number 9 catfish. Like piece of fish. You don't know what a nigga got to deal with. And knowing at the end of the day, they didn't do anything. So what I was saying was I wasn't disagreeing with the penalty. I'm just saying that it's different scenarios. And if you go to trial and somebody sees these text messages, I'm all for you getting the same time. But if you got somebody coming to their clear-cut conscience, and if they think they're going to get the same penalty of 7 years, I'm just using 7 years, and they be like, nah, I don't want to tell the truth because I don't want to do 7, but then they be like, well, give her 30 days. Like, nah, you could do 30 days. The nigga been through torment. They've been calling niggas sex offender. They've been taught disrespecting niggas at the game, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know the answer. I'm just giving Cam's advice or Cam's opinion, because that's torment too. You got to go through all that shit as a basketball player, city to city, state to state. You don't know what type of shit niggas leaving on your car. You know, all type of slogans could be left on your shit. So I'm just happy that he got this out the way. I wish him the best of luck coming up in the NBA draft coming up. And we're rooting for you, Terrence Shannon. God bless. And I'm happy that you got this out the way. And hopefully you can move on with your basketball career, because I'll definitely be rooting for you, brother.
And real quick, I'll just add, I feel like it should be more than 30 days because I feel like you're goofy. Like, there's people locked up because, you know, they had weed in the back of their car, or they didn't have a gun that was registered, who are serving a lot more longer, especially years back. And you deliberately wanted to fuck up somebody's life because you were mad or however you felt. Like, you knew what you were doing. I don't care if you came to your senses a month in or 5 months in. Like, you knew what you were doing. You messed up somebody's life. If somebody tried to mess up your life, you would feel some type of way. So yeah, you got to sit in there and think about that the same way that you had everybody else coming for him. Like, that's dumb to me.
No, I'm totally agreeing with you. I think it should be more than 32. I'm just saying that it has to be. I'm talking about the gain a clear conscience people. If it's a lot of time, they'll never come to a clear conscience.
What's the most time would you give them, Killa? What's the most time?
You're talking about. We're talking about a couple different. We're talking about a couple different scenarios. We're talking about a scenario like that just happened to where you go to trial and you see these text messages that I'm laughing, talking about we got them, and then we're talking about a scenario to where somebody says, "All right, I was lying, and I want to come out and tell the truth," because you got people who didn't tell the truth that went to trial and found out that you was lying. Then you got a scenario over here where you're saying that this is weighing too much on my confidence. I got to tell the truth. The people who go to court that we just found out about this on the text messages laughing with the money sign, give them the max. Give them the max.
Yeah, how much are you giving the other young lady?
See, that's the question, Murder, because if it's too, that's what I'm asking y'all, because, and I'll give you my answer, but the thing about it, let's say it's a year. They may never. What I'm saying is,
I give like anything else. If she was to cop out and the max was 7, then she got to do 9 months, and the rest, the other 2 on parole.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying
that's the only way you're gonna stop it. If it's too lenient, it ain't gonna mean anything. If all I gotta do is 30 days, if I'm caught.
What I'm saying is this, Mase. What I'm saying is this. I'm not disagreeing with you, but when you make the penalty too steep, they're not going to ever admit it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you want to do 30 days and 3 years on probation?
What I'm saying is this. How about all right, Buster, right? Let's say it's your law, what you just said. A year, you do 9 months, 2 months on probation. And I'm got, pause or whatever y'all want to say, but this is a serious topic. I'm the girl, and I'm like, I'll just keep shit to myself if I got to do all that. I ain't got, my conscience ain't that clear. I ain't doing no 9 and 3 years. How about we just keep it as it is? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Okay, so if she did 3 years, what stops her? If she do 30 days, what stop them from doing it again? Because 30 days ain't nothing to get their attention.
Well, at the end of the day, you build a record up. The next time, if she actually does it again, now you're being looked at. We can't necessarily take your word off the top. Now you do this. This is what you do. You already been to jail for.
So the next time you give her the max?
The next time it may not even be a situation because she has a record. So let's say it happens again. She be like, this guy raped me. They be like, didn't you try that? We're not saying we ain't going to look into it. But then something happened with you already? You went to jail on it? Nah. Matter of fact, we going to look into investigation. Let's find out who you're accusing so we can find out what's going on with you. And it's just like any other criminal. Once you got a felony or something on your record or on your jacket, they start looking at you, and it's tacked on your jacket. That's the way it works. That's what I'm saying. So if it was 30 days the first time and she accuses somebody else of rape, and first of all, they're going to look into it to see if it's real or not. And if it's not real, they're going to say, oh, you do this. And then it'll be 2 or 3 years for doing this. That's what I'm saying.
So you're just saying 30 days and no probation.
What I'm saying is I don't have an answer. I'm just thinking of my answer is not the judge's answer. I'm telling you what and my answer is not right or wrong. My answer is telling you a time limit, which I believe that a female with a conscience may come out and tell the truth. If it's more than 90 days, 120 days, females can't do time like that unless they're stone cold criminals or they're used to the system or they know what they're getting into. Most of the time, if you're accusing a nigga of some shit, you don't think you're going to jail at all. So the only reason I said 30 days, it wasn't Cam's idea to give 30 days. It's Cam's perception of what I think a female with a guilty conscience will come out and tell the truth. That's the time limit that I believe that they'll say, nah, I'm going to tell the truth. Because if you do 90, which is 3 months or 120 days, bitches like, I ain't got time to be in jail 4 months. That's all I'm saying. It's not my answer of 30 days. I'm telling you what I think.
Let me ask you something. As a fellow New Yorker, who do you think cut down crime more? David Dinkins or Giuliani?
Giuliani.
Yeah, because Giuliani had that plan. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. 3 strikes, I'm not going to worry about who you are.
You're missing I think you're missing the point. I think because it's not about the crime, it's about admitting to it. And I think that you're overlooking what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is the girl don't never have to get a conscience. I'm thinking of a day amount for her to come and get a conscience because she never has to say anything that she has a conscience. She could just carry this out and say.
So you want to give her no time and we're in the pause. If we're in the judge chamber
you're going over. I don't have a time, Mase. You're sitting here saying what I want to give somebody. I'm telling you what I think of decent amount of time, and it isn't what I want to give anybody.
All right, so do you think a woman will take no time and 2 years probation?
Mase, what I'm saying is it's girls who come out with clean conscience. They're not being penalized for this at all now. There's no penalty. We're trying to come up here on this show right now and say what would be a fair time. I'm not the judge. Stat's not the judge. You're not the judge. We're giving our opinion of what we think would be fair or what's realistic. I think that you're saying that I'm saying 30 days, which I'm not. I'm telling you a time that I think a female. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
That I'm saying that.
And I'm like, last note, then we're going to go to break, y'all.
I don't think.
Wait. I'm saying, I do understand what you're saying. You're saying this is what they might be willing to do with their conscience if they feel like they're only going to get a certain time. So I said, how about I'm asking you, do you think they would consider no time and 2 years probation? Since it's just going on record.
Right. I don't know if they know what probation's about. Probation's an annoyance. I was on probation's almost bad as jail, yo. It is because if you mess up, I got violated on probation and had to go to jail on Rikers. So probation is not as easy. It sounds good when they be like, no time, 5 years, supervised probation. That shit is a fuck. Sometimes people will be like, yo, give me the year before that. Some niggas do that. Some niggas be like, I ain't got time for that. Because if you're not home when they tell you to be home, or if you got a curfew, or if you're out with somebody, or if you're hanging with the wrong friends, or if you travel to a state that you wasn't supposed to be in, all that in 5 years.
Any running with the law.
Yeah, it's all of that. Yeah, all of that's included in probations. And some niggas will have 6 months and be like, give me the 6 months. I'd rather do that before I have to do this for the next 5 years. So I don't know. That's a great question because some of these females may not know what probation's about, and that may sound good to them. No jail time, 2 years probation, hell yeah. So they got to take a piss test. So the PO knocking at their door. So they realize, yo, we got pictures of you on Instagram in Maryland last week. Who told you could go to Maryland? All that comes with probation. You know what I'm saying? So if that's really up to them. Yeah, all that, I don't know if they know what that's about. So that's a great question because that shit is annoying as fuck.
Yeah, 2 years would be too long for a woman.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to go to break, and when we return, we're going to talk about Bull. Don't go anywhere.
I get it.
Harlem shit, yeah, we the shit. Shit all year round is money season. Every flip counts. I got rich over this bounce. Girl, ain't no sales in Gucci. We ain't looking for a discount. No.
My man Sin City say,
it's only money.
it's only money. Ain't no sales in Gucci, baby.
It's only money.
It's only money, only money.
Why you acting funny?
You acting funny.
Yeah, it's only money.
It's only money.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our Underdog Fantasy picks of the day. So tonight, the Liberty will play the Lynx. Underdog Fantasy has Nafisa Collier at 20.5 points. Do you have her higher or lower, Mase?
I'm gonna go higher.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't really know too much about her when I seen this on the picks. I did a little bit due diligence on her. But I had a shorty with that same name, and her ass was fat. Not comparing her to her, but she knew how to bounce it, so I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go higher off the bounce.
That's lovely. Brianna Stewart is at 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you ever higher or lower, Cam?
Higher, all yeah, higher.
Yeah, hi. Killer, what do you be thinking about, yo?
She lived on 40th, shorty. That was one of my first little joints, man. She was bad. And when I see her name, that's all I could think. Because I ain't gonna say a lie. When I give these picks out, if I don't know, I'll sit there and do some homework or I have an idea, but I'm like, when you sit there and say 20.5 and that's around what she gets, underdog isn't really being that easy with this type of pick. So now I gotta go into my personal. It's like murder, superstitious, we see certain numbers, you be like, nah, take that number off. I had got a debit card one time, my pin in the back was 666. I threw that shit back. I said, I'm not using this motherfucking card. This ain't my card. Fuck you talking about? Baby, me and I think I'm putting that in my wallet. So sometimes I have to use that universal guidance that I have to make these picks. And it works. My code Cam is a success.
Okay, and Sabrina is at 7 assists. Do you ever higher or lower, Mase?
Sabrina. Everything with Sabrina, I go higher.
Okay.
I'm gonna go lower.
She's one of my favorite players.
Mine too. I think she's gonna score though. I'm gonna go lower.
Okay. Download the Underdog Fantasy app and you can make your picks too. So we started this discussion a little bit earlier, but I wanted to add to it. So with Eubanks declining his player option other than Nurkic, the Suns don't have a backup center for the roster next season because Bull is supposed to be an unrestricted free agent. So my question for you guys is, what do you guys think happens next for Bull?
New York. Bobo, listen to me, Bobo. Go to New York. If you don't go to New York, go to Boston. One of those teams you have to go to. Don't roll a dice, Bobo. I'm hardly ever wrong. Go to New York. They're gonna love you.
I kind of like that. I like Bowl in New York. I think that would be really, really good. I feel bad for Bowl, man. Because I think he's an outstanding talent. I think he's a dope player. I'm not sure exactly what's not translating in these locker rooms on with these teams. First and foremost, even Eubanks leaving, I don't consider Bowl a center anyway. So even if he stayed with the Suns, he's not their center. To me, he's a 3. Yeah. And they'll put him at the 4 if need be and the 5 just because he's tall. But if we're talking about the type of game he has a 3 game. He could dribble, he could shoot, he could put the ball on the floor. I really like his game. I think, Mase, I don't like to agree with you a lot of times. But New York will really be sensational.
New York.
And not only that, they'll adapt to him. They'll like his style of play. He'll be a fan favorite. I think it's dope. But what we have to realize is when it comes to Bowl, he leaves Denver and they become champions. He leaves Orlando's, they become playoff contenders. What is going on that these teams have success every time he leaves? And I'm like, damn, what's going on? Even with the Suns, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time that I thought he should be getting, but who the hell am I? I'm not in practice. I'm not seeing what he does in practice or who he gets along with and not get along with and so on and so forth. And maybe I'll call some of my NBA insiders and find out exactly what was going on. But I just don't understand why he doesn't get the playing time. And not only that, we have to give credit where credit is due because when these teams let him go, they actually become more successful the year next than the year before previously with him. But I do like New York, Murder. He'll be accepted really quick, a fair favor, and I think he'll fit in the system just fine. I like that.
Yeah, when it comes to New York, I think they have the scenery also that'll bring out the better player in him. Like pause when he gets to New York, there's a certain swag that comes with being in New York that he's not gonna get from Denver. He definitely wouldn't get that from Phoenix. And going up to even playing in the hood different times in the summer, it'll just give him a different swag. He'll meet some girls that talk them crazy, put some fire on them, pause, You too big, pause, to be that weak and all that. You know how New York girls.
Yeah, and not
They
only that, New
going
York,
crazy.
and not only that, I'm not saying I'm not just because I don't know how he grew up and so on and so forth. But we got a big African population. We take you right up to 116th Street between 7th and Lenox, 7th and 8th, 128th and what's that, 131st to 7th, the African spot right by Lorraine's and all that. Nigga, you be king out there, nigga. They'll love you, nigga. Big African community, and
Yep.
especially in Harlem, nigga. I take you right to my man CD, 01. He ran New Harlem, the cab base for a little minute, him in 03. That's when, when you put a cab on hold and all that, y'all know. I won't even
Yeah,
understand
he'll
that.
be fire. Pause. He'll be fire in New York. They'll love him.
That's a fact.
So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on this just a little bit more. So some predictions that have came out for team options for Bobo have been the Warriors, the Mavs, or the Lakers. Do you guys think that he would be a good fit on any of the three of those teams, or no?
The Mavs and the Warriors, he will be great at. But I think he'll be better. I like the Mavs too. I definitely do like the Mavs.
Yeah, I like the Mavs and the Warriors. I'm not sure about the Lakers, but definitely the Mavs and the Warriors.
Okay. And then last thing before we wrap. So Sha'Carri Richardson won the 100-meter final to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. So just in general, what's you guys' thoughts on her accomplishment and her journey at this point? Mase first.
I knew he was gonna ask me this first. I think it's phenomenal how she maneuvered her image, and this is sort of what I was alluding to in the times I spoke about some of the ladies from the WNBA and things like that. When you make these kind of changes, it makes it easier for corporate sponsors and everything else to get on board with the new changes that you're making. And I think she's put herself in a position where she can not only perform well, but can turn it into a lot of marketing dollars. And when you're trying to make changes, the African American community is very forgiving when it comes to that.
First of all, I'm going to keep it 100. Congratulations, sis. Great fucking job, yo. Outstanding. Y'all so dumb, people. Olympics. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you got to do the testing, so on and so forth. So let's just put this into perspective and let's do that from now on because some people may not know her whole story. What happened is, just to break this down for our fans and listeners who don't know who she is, she's a female track runner who tested positive for weed, and she got suspended for a period of time because she was smoking weed, and it's illegal to smoke weed and compete. Olympics, anything domestic in the United States, anything, any type of drug is illegal. With that being said, I get that, and I totally agree with that. But if she was smoking weed and still killing you niggas, what do you think is going to happen when she can't smoke weed? Road runner shit. My nigga, she was beating y'all high. She was trying to be nice about the shit. You think she gonna lose anytime soon now that she can't smoke? First of all, she was already fast. Now she can't smoke, so she mad. And now that she not only mad, she's super fast. Duh, she's gonna win everything this summer. You know why? Because soon as the Olympics is over, she gonna smoke a stupid fat blunt with them gold medals. It's gonna be crazy, and I can't. Yo, sis, let me know when the medals is back from Paris. I'm coming to smoke one with you, nigga. We gonna keep it tucked, nigga. You deserve that. This chick was beating y'all high. You think she's not gonna win when she's not high? Congratulations. Weed is legal in certain states, and I get it's not illegal. I get it's illegal when it comes to sports and so on and so forth. Not in the NBA, because niggas is definitely getting high in the NBA. And there's a little bit in football lately, too. But I dig it. I understand it. But we're not talking about like she was on PED or the shit that Ryan was taking or cocaine or any upper. She was actually taking something to calm her the fuck down, still winning. Y'all in trouble in the Olympics, nigga. Y'all are in trouble. I'll be watching, sis. Congratulations, and I'm happy that you're back.
Well, congratulations to Sha'Carri, but that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.